Hello and welcome to a figure fox skin tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how I did this art for Pandora's 3rd anniversary contest. It is a Enchanted Forest entry, as you can tell with my water sprites, and that is what I'm going to show you today. So what I did was I took a picture of my avatar in the pose that I wanted. And I am going to show you how I made these water sprites. What I did was I took the background erase tool and I have these settings. I don't know if you can see these settings, but if you can't, I will post a link to a picture of how these settings are set. And what I did was I brought the diameter of this brush all the way up to 2500 pixels, which should be large enough for your picture. And I just selected, as you can tell, there's blue, whites, and blacks on this chrome skin. So what I did was I took out the blacks and I took out the blues with this background erase tool, which I'll show you now. And it just leaves a little bit of black as you do the first pass. You make a new layer, you drag it under what you're working on, bring this back to black, fill this layer, and it should show you your transparent avatar. Pretty cool, huh? So then all I did was I downloaded a few water brushes and I tweaked them, and it eventually came out to this, which is totally up to you and your design. So you don't necessarily have to use mine, but I would advise you to use your own so you can be more creative. Since I see so many artists out there using the same things over and over. But that is pretty much the gist of how I made this water sprite. Hello and welcome to part 2 of this wonderful tutorial. I'm going to show you how I got all the details and special effects to make this water avatar really pop out of the background and make it really seem like it's in the scene itself. So what we're going to do today is we're going to drag your finished avatar without this black background onto your background. As you can see, it's a little bit too big, so we will scale it down. Usually if you hold the shift key and you drag, it keeps the proportions so it doesn't look skewed or too skinny or too fat. But scale it down to the size you like, which this one looks perfectly good. And as you can tell, it looks great on this background, but to make that more natural looking, what we're going to do is add a new layer. And I would like to choose a color from within this water area, which would be this nice blue, purpley, greeny color. I took a soft brush. I like to use number 27 and make it a little slightly bigger. And usually I have my brush presets with this nice little curvature. So what you do is fill in some of the areas that you would like to see. Like so. And you blur the layer with Gaussian blur. Just to make sure you can still see it, but it is blurred out so it fills in more of the character. Add another layer. Get your eyedropper tool and pick a darker color. And then add a few bits and bobs where you feel needed. I like to make it look like it's highlighted. as I did in the first tutorial, or should I say the first part of the tutorial. Blur this again. And there we have the first part of the beginnings of this tutorial. So far it's not looking too bad, but as you can tell in the first part that I did, it had goldfishes going up through the skirt into the avatar itself. So what I did was downloaded a few goldfish brushes, add a new layer, grab any of these cute little fishies, or any of the fishes that you download, or you can even use a PSD from deviantart.com. Make sure it's not too big, that it comes out of the avatar itself. Zoom in a bit. Oops. Okay, bring this back to black. As you can see, the fishes are black when they start. They won't be like that for long. And I just threw a few fishes here and there. Some big, some small. Just a variation. Still too big. Then I took another layer and I pulled that underneath the goldfish layer. And what we're going to do is fill the background of this fish layer with white. So zoom in really close to your fishes so you can actually get all the detail in when you color it, not like how I'm doing it right now. But as you can see, it turns it into a grayscale instead of just transparent black. Okay, once we get that done, we merge these two layers together. Then we go over here and we make this goldfish gold by recoloring it. So we pick this nice little gold color here, or red, depending on what fish color you would like. Make a new layer, right click, and go to create clipping mask. This will keep the color within the fish layer so it doesn't go outside of the layer. Say if you're over here, as you can see, it doesn't come outside the layer. And we color our goldfishies. So as you can see, it really isn't that hard, but if you want to get intricate in detail, you can add different colors, different shades, different objects like leaves and such. And then we go over to where the layers are, where it says normal. You click down on this drop down menu and you get all these options depending on how you want your goldfish to look, either bright or darker. I like the vivid light sometimes, but for my oops as this pops out, I usually choose multiply or soft light, but in this case I'm going to use vivid light. And as you can tell, you can see the fishes, they aren't exactly perfect because this is just a fast tutorial. But you will then add another layer, and from there you can add more water splashes with your water brushes and some fancy swirls that go around your avatar. like such. You could start in the back or the front. It doesn't matter because it'll look like it blends in, but you could take the color of the goldfish, or you could take the color of the water, as I said before, when filling in the background. And then when you're perfectly happy with that, just merge it all together. And you can do a few, what I did was I took the levels and I darkened it up a bit, which made the avatar more realistic. Or you can lighten it like it's in a foggy area, or you could do a multitude of things. For me, I just did the levels and added a few more things to my contest piece. But this is how it turns out if you do it like how I was doing it. But you could do it so many different ways, with leaves, with flowers. But this is just the base, so